The state of California has passed legislation that will automatically register eligible voters when they obtain or renew a driver's license. Governor Jerry Brown says it's a way to increase voter turnout, but critics warn the measure could add millions of illegal people to the rolls because the state allows undocumented aliens to get driver's licenses. That's a problem. Isn't it, Judge Napolitano?
Yes. Good morning, Steve. Yes, it is a problem because the other states, including our own home state of New Jersey, which permit registration at the time you get a driver's license, have you go through another procedure in which you have to demonstrate citizenship.
You got to prove you're here legally.
Correct. California, it's one procedure. You may not even know that when you get your driver's license, you are also being registered to vote. And there's no requirement of proof of citizenship. What's the significance of proof of citizenship? All 50 states limit voting to citizens, except when the state allows you to sort of sneak in without proving your citizenship by getting a driver's license instead.
Sure. And one of the things they look to is the Supreme Court in the past has said that the right to drive in the United States is fundamental. However, they don't say you have to be an American citizen per se. But what about the right to vote?
You know, there's a lot of debate, without getting too academic, about what the right to vote is. Is it a fundamental right that comes from our humanity, like thought and speech and association and worship and self-defense? Or is it a privilege given by the government? In my view, the Supreme Court has wrongly said it's a fundamental right. And once it said that, states like California decided to allow people to vote who aren't qualified by law to vote because of this fundamental aspect.
Those are for state elections.
For any election in California.
But it's against the law on federal elections.
Yes, it is, but there's really no way to monitor it. So if you are an illegal alien in California, get a driver's license, registered to vote, you can vote in local, state, and federal elections in California, and those votes count.
Interesting
It's
stuff.
almost impossible to monitor this if the state is going to provide shelter for illegals to vote.
And so that's what's going to happen out in California. Meanwhile, let's talk about this. I think later today the Supreme Court's going to hear arguments regarding juveniles who wound up with sentences of life after murder. Right?
Very interesting set of facts where a juvenile commits murder and is convicted, capital murder, and is sentenced to death. And then in 2005, when the Supreme Court found that it was unconstitutional to impose the death penalty on people who were children at the time they committed the crime, meaning under age 18, those death sentences were automatically converted to life without parole. Now the issue is it fair to sentence a 17-year-old to life without parole? And the case that they're going to resolve is a bit of a tearjerker. This guy's been in jail. He's 69 years old. He's been in jail since before John F. Kennedy was assassinated.
Wow.
He's an entirely different person. He qualifies for law school as a result of all the self-teaching he accumulated while he was in jail. He's published law review articles. He's obviously a different human being than the 17-year-old who committed this crime. Question is, not is it right or wrong, but is there something in the Constitution that prevents this from happening? It'd be a very, very contentious oral argument. The last time the Supreme Court looked at this, it was 5-4, and they were at each other like this.
All right, stand by. That happens today at the Supreme Court.
We'll be watching for you, Steve.
We will. All right.
Okay.
Judge, thank you very much.
You're welcome.